Hey,
Hello.
how's it going, man?
It's doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for having us. I think the other guys are getting situated.
All right. Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What was your name?
Kyle.
Kyle. Freddie, nice to meet you.
Yes. Nice to
Is my
meet you too.
is my lighting too harsh?
No, it's,
What's
it's
up?
fine. Hello.
Hey, hold on. I gotta turn off. I have like a dog bowl, but it's like one of those circulating ones. So it's
Oh
like it sounds
yeah.
like a waterfall behind me. It's like driving me crazy. Hold on.
Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
There we go. All right. What's up?
What up, y'all?
Trying to get y'all
Hello.
juice before this interview.
um yeah, so I guess tell me the history of this band.
Oh
How did
man.
this all like start?
Um, who wants to go? You want me to go? Want me to go? Go
Freddie,
ahead,
that's
yeah.
you. That's you, buddy. Go.
Um, basically, the way it all kind of started is that Daniel and I were in a power violence band called Rosenbaums, and that was with some just some friends, high school friends, people in our friend group, Jeff Rady and Juan Ellis. And then I met Trey through that extended friend group because Trey went to Antioch High School, correct? Oh no, you went to Deer Valley, right? Or did you go to Antioch?
Yeah, I went to Anya.
Yeah, you went to Antioch. We were like Deer Valley kids, but like we just all kind of found each other, and then yeah, I don't know. I just like we were in that band. That band, we were lucky enough to put out a 7-inch on 625 Thrash, which was very cool, and got to play some really cool shows and stuff. So we kind of were like kind of getting our feet wet in like the Bay Area punk scene and stuff. And then yeah, I don't know, just kind of wanted to branch out and do other stuff. And then I just like me and Trey like immediately clicked, like immediately had like a kinship, a friendship. So we just like yeah, just like started like hanging out, staying over at each other's houses and playing guitar and showing guitar parts to each other and stuff. And like just kind of grew from there. And I don't know, does anyone have anything to add about that time period?
I'll
I do
never forget
remember.
when I met Freddie. Oh, I was gonna say, Freddie, before we started jamming, I was laughing because like I remember I met you at Katie's house. I think like I was there with her and Glenn. We were like hanging or something, and
Mhm.
I was wearing some band T-shirt. I forget. And you were like, "Hey man, you play music?" And I was like, "Not really, but like let's do this." And you were like, "Hell yeah, let's hang out."
Yeah,
That's like the first time we met.
yeah, for sure.
I think that led to Freddie and I were always like squatted up together, and I just remember we kind of planned to hang out with Trey one day, and he's like, "Oh, I got this homie who, is gonna be down to like jam with us for, you know, whatever the talk of our next like idea was." And so Trey came over to Freddie's, and we just like I remember the first time hanging out was just like, yeah, just clicking. And I had already anticipated meeting him because we had a very tight like circle of friends, and there was a good amount of us. And so to know that somebody else is like, oh, this is about to be the homie, um, it just clicked really right. And the second that we all met and hung out, it's just like snowballing of ideas, and just yeah, things taking off kind of quickly. We already had the idea like before I had met Trey. Just by talking to Freddie, we already had the idea like we're gonna make something together.
What were your guys' roles in this band also?
When it started, um, I'm normally a drummer, so I just was gonna do drumming and vocals at the same time, and then it started out with just Trey on guitar, me on the drums, and then Steve, who was the bass player for the demo, and a few tracks on the LP. Um, and it was just us three kind of just jamming, and then like Daniel's just always available, always around, always down. So I was just like, well, let me switch to guitar, and like we'll get Daniel on the drums because he's pretty good. And I don't know. And then we just kind of like started to continue to just write. And then it was always just Trey and I on guitar and vocals, and Steve Bruder, who was bass player for a while in the beginning, and then Daniel on the drums. And then essentially just kind of like how the songwriting goes is like, maybe I'll have a riff or Trey has a riff, and then we'll meet up and then share it. And then we'll kind of like, kind of just write from there, build from there really. And it just kind of started from guitar and like vocal ideas and stuff.
Yeah, what were you guys using to record your stuff with? Like what was the DAW, if you guys used like digital audio workshops back in the day?
It was all like analog at first, right? I think we first recorded with our friend Alex Johnson at his house. He had like a 6-track, right? Or he had like a crazy like setup that was all analog.
Well, one of the times we recorded, it was with an ADAT machine. So it's on those recorders that use VHS. So there's like there's like the original demo, and then there's kind of like a preview of the LP kind of demo after. And then if you hear it, or if you kind of I mean, it's so weird to talk about our songs because they're all untitled and it's hard to kind of pinpoint, you know what I mean, everything. But like if you take the original 8-song demo, and then there was kind of like an internet like demo in the middle of that and the LP, and if you listen to that one, it's like a 5-song demo one, and it kind of has like a whooshy like warp, almost like how like, I don't know, kind of like vaporwave, like they like try to create that like analog sound like on their laptops. Like that was actually made by using an ADAT recorder. So you just like run back the VHS, and that's pretty much how we did it. And we actually recorded that in a it was like in a storage facility. It was like in the hallway of a storage facility, and he had the ADAT machine. We just kind of just like mic'd up and just went for it in there. And we probably, if we got caught, we probably would have got kicked out and never finished it, but we finished it. So that was kind of cool.
What year was this?
It's early 2000s. I don't know, 04, 05-ish.
I was thinking a little later, but it's
Oh, yeah.
washy. It's
Probably.
washy. That could be.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
0405. Yeah, we recorded with Chris too, right? Chris did like at his house. I think that was analog, but then he converted it right for us to digital. That was like the 8-song demo, right?
Yes. The original 8-song was like on like I don't even know. He just had kind of like a studio set up, and then like a soundproof room. So we just kind of like were able to play live actually, and he kind of captured it live, which was kind of cool, which really was kind of like benefited us because we were so just not together and sloppy and just kind of noisy, and it was just kind of just, you know, chaotic. So being able to just kind of like feed off each other and like get a live recording captured pretty well, actually, you know, it was probably the best thing for us.
There's like literally almost no information on this band online. Is there like a reason for this mystery? Like, are you guys trying to push this as like a mysterious band?
Anyone?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, like, we were just like kids having fun. I don't know, like Daniel, Freddie, like, correct me if I'm wrong. It was like, I don't know. We just had a lot of fun, and like even like the name. Like I don't know if we're gonna shout out this a little bit, but like I'll never forget. Like we were having fun at practice. We were like jamming. Like we wrote a song. We were like skating. Like just having a ton of fun. And I remember we were like ragging on all these like long name like metalcore bands. You know, we were like laughing like just like jokingly. You know. And so I don't know if anyone really knows this, but like I think Daniel like said the name. Like he was like we were like, or at least pieces of it, how it was. Like we were like, it was almost like a joke, like at first, right? Like here's all these long metalcore band names, and then we like settled on this one, and we are like, fuck it, like that's what we're gonna be called, you know? So like, I don't know, I feel like that, but I felt like that was, I don't know, that felt like haikus. Like we had a hell of fun, and we were like just like we're not gonna name the songs, like fuck it, you know, like we're just like having like fun all the time and like rolling with it, you know. So I don't know. I don't think we meant to be mysterious, and like to Freddie's point, like a bunch of our homies, like luckily we're in other bands in the music scene, because like I feel like Antioch, that area, like everyone like in the punk, skater, like indie crews, like kind of all knew each other, you know. And so we had friends that like recorded that hooked us up for free, you know, like that would let us play shows with you know, them for free. And so we were kind of like, I felt like we were like rolling with it, like just having a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't think we meant to like be mysterious, but like we're like, yeah, we're just gonna do kind of whatever we want, you know, and enjoy it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? That's how I've always felt about it. But
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We were always very cutthroat about everything and just like focused on the raw material itself. So that was easy to not name songs, I think, and just not like just have less to worry about, because we were always striving just to get a practice in. And I would like, you know, just show up at Freddy's, hit up Trey, wait around for him to show up, and then we'd have a limited time before we had to shut down practice. And like everything was kind of a scramble to like just have the equipment to be able to do it and the space to do it. Oh, your parents are gone. All right, let's run it in the garage for a few hours and get as much done as we possibly can, working with what we have. So everything is all about like working with what you have. And, like, so it was just really easy to kind of like fuck off in the ways we did, and just had like all this energy putting like that was going towards it, and then it just stopped. And it's like, well, we're not gonna like go back and like make information and make merch and stuff when we're not even together like that anymore. And that was, you know, that's why a lot is just kind of lost, I think.
So personally, between all you guys, when did you guys first notice like virality with this project? Because it blew up online. Yeah, like what was your own like personal stories? Like, hey, like this is like become something big.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about how it was starting to get onto people's, you know, playlists and whatnot, like this was before just like how rapid like information was like moving on the internet. It was pretty kind of like slow and very basic at that time. So like this was back when SoulSeek was a thing, and like an older, you know, punker friend of ours, his name was Alex Johnson. He had a SoulSeek account, and we were always playing music with him, like starting projects with him, and like, you know, this and that. He was just like stoked on what we were doing. Like he showed us like the I Have Dreams demo. He showed us the I Hate Myself record. He showed us, you know, like the Promise Ring. He showed us like just kind of like the emo world, you know what I mean, and the screamo world. And like he had a massive like collection of MP3s on, you know, on his computer, and like he fucking put our demo within like that catalog. So people were downloading his whole like emo screamo like collection, but unwittingly like downloading our 8-song demo as well. So people were starting to do that. So that kind of, he was kind of like linking us in with like the Seisha record and the Orchid record. He was just kind of like saying like, you guys are really fucking good. Like people need to know about you guys. So he was like, just without even really telling us too, which was like really cool about it. So shout out to him. So that was kind of like the beginning of it. So this was the time where MySpace was a thing too. So we had a MySpace music account for the band. So it was almost like the people who were getting that demo just kind of like here and there, finding it on the internet or whatever. Then it just kind of like I don't know, it just kind of blew up basically on MySpace really, which is kind of like odd to talk about or think about now, but that's kind of like where it really like started to kind of like build like almost like a cult following. And then like the fact that we had limited information about ourselves, and it was kind of obscure, and it was kind of just like odd, and we were a band but we weren't a band, and the lyrics are completely incredibly intensely personal, but like we're also kind of like a joke band at the same time. It was kind of like this weird like we existed in this weird kind of like place, you know, this kind of middle ground where we're not taking ourselves too seriously, but like almost like, I don't know, this very very intimate, personal, like subject matters being sung about, you know. And then for me, I didn't really realize how popular the band got, or like how it had like this weird cult following until like people were like showing me that on Tumblr there were like all these reposts and people were making memes about the band, and on Valentine's Day making like these like fake, like funny, like fake Valentine's Day cards with our lyrics on it and stuff like that. And it was just kind of like, I had no idea, but people were like just kind of telling me like here and there, like, yo, the band is like has this weird cult following. I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
And then what about you guys? What was your like moment, like, oh shoot, this is like gotten big?
Years later, just randomly, you know, like YouTubing it just for the sake of like it popping into my head and like, oh, I missed boys type shit. And then it had been like years later, like we've always been friends and stuff, but like I don't know, we didn't really talk too much about band for a long time. So just like seeing seeing a K or something on YouTube views, it's kind of the main thing that I was like, wait, that something's not right here. Like that's when I got to notice everything. And then later seeing something on Discogs, like a record of ours for really expensive and hundreds of dollars. So just being late to the game and randomly like, yeah, just looking something up. Okay. Otherwise I would have never known, because people don't come up and like talk to me about it other than like maybe in the last year at most.
What about you, Trey?
Now, similar to Daniel, like I mean, again, like I just felt like we were just having a lot of fun and like didn't like I didn't even like think about it really. Like, you know, I mean, of course we're like in a band, we're trying to play shows, like want to hang out with friends, play more shows and stuff. But like I didn't really realize, I mean, I think the first step, kind of like Freddie, you mentioned like Tulsi. So I moved to Berkeley like right before I started going to school out here, but I worked in San Francisco, and my homie Brian, who was in Loma Prieta, used to shop the store that I worked at. And so like early on when I started working there, he would come in and he was like, Trey, what's up, dude? Like, haven't seen you in a long time. We played with Loma, like, you know, we had done some shows with them. We knew them through like the crew. And prior to our record release, basically, you know, they like him and Val, who did Disco Fuego, like were trying to like hit me up about like putting out the LP. You know, like Brian was like, you know, like art major or whatever, he could like throw together the artwork. You know, I think he did the insert with like Maddie's help, our friend Maddie, who did the photograph for the LP cover. And so like I would see him and Val, and we hung out in the city a bit. And so like, but it was kind of interesting. Like I think that was the first step for me, because like when I hadn't seen Brian in a while, and he was like, Trey, what's up? Like, we got to put this out. Like, let's put this out for you guys. And I was like, wow, I don't know. Like, we're not even the band anymore. Like, you know, I hang with Daniel and Freddie, but okay, like that sounds cool. So that was kind of like the first step that went out. I think it sold out pretty quickly, which I was kind of surprised, because again, like we weren't really like a band anymore, right? So I was kind of surprised about that. I think the first run was like 1,000 LPs. And then like shortly thereafter, like I was still going to shows a bunch, and like Freddie, you probably got the same when you were like in Who Calls So Loud, but like, you know, I started this band Bonavere, and when we were even just like meeting kids in like that scene, like it was kind of weird. Like people started kind of coming up to me and being like, "Oh, you're in Haikus," da da da. And I was like, "Dude, like how do you even know? Like I don't even know." You know what I mean? Like we played like a handful of shows. Like it was weird. You know, that's when I kind of like started to notice, was like, you know, because Bonavere was like a new band, but we were like, we played a lot of shows. Like even before we released stuff, we did like a shitty demo and started like, you know, playing shows, and we were kind of prolific playing just like any show that we could. But like people would come up to me and like ask me, or like, you know, ask me questions and stuff, or even like to Trey's point or Daniel's point, like, dude, like someone would come up and like rock a shirt like that they made themselves, you know, and I was like, what? Like I haven't been in a band for like 3 years, you know. It's kind of trippy. So I think that was kind of like, I don't know, viral. Like, I didn't really realize that. I still, still seems like weird to say it, but like, I was stoked and like happy and like felt kind of like humbled to see it like, went well beyond like what we, I think, had intended. But like the cool thing was also like a lot of those kids in those scenes that like we played with shows, like one thing I'll never forget that really like touched me was like they always kind of remembered like our emotion live, like when we played, and like they would say like, just like really humbling things, just, about like seeing us play, like blown away by our set, like had no idea who we were and stuff like that. So it's kind of when I guess, yeah, later after we were done, that's when I started to kind of feel like it was bigger than us, which is really humbling.
So, there was a show that was supposed to happen in 2020 at the Starline Social Club. Tell me how that even like came to be. Like, how did that even like form?
You want me to tell him, Freddie, take that one?
Yeah, there's a couple things that kind of happened before, like one of the things was I only have an Instagram, so that's the only social media outlet that I use. So like I'm not on it a lot, I guess. And then from time to time I would like kind of like look up the hashtag to just see like how people like used it. And like there was like, people posting the record. I'm like, oh shit, I've never even really like owned one of the records like personally. This is sick to like see someone posting it like alongside like their other records in their collection and stuff. So I would just like see that. And then there was this kid who like had like a tape distro out of his house, out of his bedroom or whatever. And then he posted kind of like a mock-up of like the tape, like a tape release of like the discography. And then he said this would be like a dream release, And then so I kind of looked on his profile and he seemed like he was kind of like productive and had shit going on. So then like I hit him up like, yo, like let's do it. Let's do this. You know what I mean? Like that'd be sick, And then so like long story short, like something happened where it really didn't work out with that kid, like just dropped the ball or whatever. But then like that kind of got us talking about, that was kind of like a catalyst for us talking about like, yo, let's actually just start doing this shit because people really want to like see the band live. Like people really want to like experience like this music played live, and like, Daniel and Trey are like they're my brothers, like for real. And like, I was like, well, we have no reason to not, let's just try to make it work and see what happens. And then as soon as like we kind of like started even talking about it, then it like made the Instagram account for the band, and then like then it just like everyone just started just like, it was like a frenzy. Everyone was like super stoked about it. We're like, okay, well then I guess we're gonna do this. And and then it was just like 1, 2, 3, like out of kind of something negative that happened, we were like, screw this, like let's get, like Trey had a connection with like a tape distro, and then got everything going for like the actual official tape release. Of course we were working with people with Loma Prieta to get a show together and the artwork for the tape going. And it was just like, everything just started to just kind of like manifest, like become tangible. And then the date was set for Starline, and it was like, okay, here we fucking go. And then we're gonna get like an LA show, and we're gonna let's just like, start with like Oakland and LA, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Because we hadn't played together in like so long, and then all of a sudden like COVID hit, and then like that the rug kind of got pulled out from under us, and then we're just like, oh man, like this sucks, and then but we still kind of like, have that fire and that like, that like drive to like see this like happen again. So we're trying to like make it work to like get together and stuff like that too. But there's like so much just kind of like support and like love from like so many people, and even like people like friends that we have that are kind of more involved in like the punk scene, like proper, you know what I mean, like are in active bands, and they're reaching out to me telling me that they're stoked about it. And I'm like really, like you care about that shit? Like it's like, wow, okay, cool, like sweet, like thank you, and yeah, so like we actually dropped like the long sleeve like the merch drop, and then that sold out like in an hour or something like that. And we're like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? Like we're just like some dudes, you know, like this is crazy. So like we're like, all right, well, this is like a for real thing. Like people really want to see this happen. So like we gotta like figure this out, you know, and like trying to navigate through like work schedules and like families and stuff like that. It's kind of rough, but you know, I know that it's gonna happen, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen.
So you guys are open to playing more gigs in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we text each other like once a month, if not more. Probably like trying to hit each other up about it. Yeah, and I mean, Loma wants to do a redo. I think we didn't realize too, like kind of something that we felt really strongly about was like doing all ages shows too when we were younger. So the Starline show I think was 18 plus, which I don't think we realized at the time. Which it sold out, and like, you know, which was cool. Loma had booked it. I don't think they realized either. So I think if we redo, we're definitely gonna want to play an all ages show. You know, but again, like we're not sure like when or where or what, but Loma's down. We just need to like figure it out, you know.
Would you guys be open to playing at San Francisco State University? It's all ages.
That could be dope. There you go. Got an invite.
Yeah. Let's get it popping.
Yeah, I mean, so I posted on Reddit like, hey, I'm gonna be interviewing. I wrote haikus in a couple of days. Does anyone want to pose any questions? I don't use Reddit. I don't know how it like works. And instantly I just got a spam of just like notifications. Just
Whoa.
I was like on the top of like the emo Reddit that this went up. Yeah,
Whoa.
you guys definitely have like a big hype around this right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super humbled by that. That's crazy.
But yeah, so Reddit wanted to ask a couple questions, so I got a couple from there. One of them, are you guys expecting to put up your releases on Spotify at all? Because right now there's a pirated release on there at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think it's cool to have the cool thing about this project is like, and one of the reasons why we kind of kept it on the obscure side is even on the, like when we had the MySpace days, like we posted something about like, hey, look, we're not going to make artwork about for this demo, but if you have any artwork ideas, like send it to us. And then we kind of like had people sending us artwork for the demo. So it's kind of like almost like the people who are into the record, like they kind of like make their own like world surrounding it. So that's kind of, I think that's really cool. And then like people are bootlegging our t-shirts, which I think is dope and is DIY and is punk, and like I love that, you know. So like I think that's very cool that like somebody wanted the record up so bad that it's a pirated version of the LP on Spotify. I had no clue, but I think that's dope. You know, so I just leave it. I'd say leave it up there.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is because like we didn't work at the label too, you know. Like I think in general, like the labels will like put out a record and then immediately like, you know, with the band like permission, put it on like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. And so like since it was all self-released, you know, I don't think any of us are gonna like put the effort into like put it on Spotify or anything like that. So unless we do something new with the label, I don't, you know, yeah, keep it pirated. That's dope.
Yeah. I'm down to keep it pirated, and we'll just figure it out later. You know, I'm down to get an official thing on there. I don't. It's not about money. You know, it's not about. I don't even care. As long as people are happy and they want to keep listening to the record, and they want to keep, you know, just, you know, I'm cool with it.
You guys will laugh at this though. So I have our like official original recordings, you know, and so I don't know why, but like one of them pops up first sometimes in my radio or like my Apple Music, like when I play it. And it's like the one, Freddie, where you just scream at the beginning. And sometimes it scares the hell out of me. Like it's like because it's like early, like 6 a.m. or something like outside, and I forget that it's like gonna turn on in my car automatically. And it's like the first song that comes on, it's like, "Rah!" And I'm like, whoa, so funny. So
That's funny.
It's in my library because I have the actual MP3. But yeah, funny story.
Oh yeah.
This is a personal just question that I don't think a lot of viewers would care about, but on Untitled #6, I think I hear a chord organ in that. Did
Yeah.
someone have a chord organ?
Okay, so go ahead, Daniel.
Is that the Bon Tempe that I lifted from Salvation Army? Or
Absolutely,
different Bon?
absolutely. We okay, so there was not much to do in Antioch, right, growing up. So thrifting was like a huge part of what we did. We head to toe, we'd be wearing like thrift store clothes, you know what I mean? And we would get odds and ends and like different things, bikes, whatever, you name it. Like we'd find stuff to just, you know, keep ourselves, you know, entertained or whatever. We found a Bon Tempe air organ. Daniel had one, and then I think that was the one that we used on the recording. And Bon Tempe, if you don't know what it is, it's like it's an air organ. You plug, it's made in like, I think it's made in the 80s or something like that. You plug it in and it's like a mini just air organ. It's for kids, right? And then it has like on the left side, it has buttons where you would hit like a major chord or a minor chord. And then it had like on the left side, it would have like a very short, like keyboard, like, you know, piano setup here. So you can like play a chord and then play a lead like with your right hand. So like, yeah, so that definitely was a Bon Tempe, thrifted, probably stolen. Yeah, vintage.
That one I had to run out with because it was too big and it didn't fit in the bag, but we had to have it, and I'm glad we used it like that.
So we got the receipts. It was stolen.
Dude, I had that same one for a hell of a long. Like I found another one, like somewhere out here, Freddie, you guys,
Yeah.
and but it didn't sound the same. It was like fucked up. So like it made like weird whistling noises. So I ended up selling it, but I tried to hold it for us forever because I was like, we're gonna use this again.
And funny thing too is I found one as well at a thrift store and I bought it. It was like 20 bucks. It's in my storage. And like, for some reason, my wife thought it was like haunted or something like that. She's like, get this the hell out of the house. I'm like, no, this is a fucking, you don't know. You don't know what this is. Yeah.
So yeah, so touching back on me posting this on Reddit, by far the biggest like upvoted question was for people to ask you if you guys still listen to like Scrams music, and like do you guys like have any new favorite Scrams bands? Like where are you guys at with Scrams right now?
Definitely still listen to a lot of like Orchid. Like recently, just like see the CD and buy it, you know. So still definitely it still circulates and with the rest of it. I like still can just listen to Funeral Diner all day, you know, as like the staple of the band that it is. Welcome to Play Gear. Yes. Still listening to some.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Trey?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like Nuva Lascura, that's like one of my favorite like current bands, like just so amazing. Dreathan, really good. European like Scram, kind of emotive hardcore. Yeah, I mean a lot of homies bands are like, you know, bands that like friends will, you know, share. So I guess I'm not as like searching as I probably used to be, but still love Loma. You know, yeah, I love listening to like the classics. I have a run Scrams mix actually. I run a lot, and I have like a specific Scrams mix for running. Give me juice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll still revisit like a lot of the records that really inspired me to even start writing riffs for like haikus. And then like, you know, like the I Have Dreams demo absolutely was kind of like foundational for us, like for like that just aesthetic, you know. To Dream of Autumn was a huge band for me. Cowboys Became Folk Heroes was a good one. See like these long names, right? So it's kind of like you see the trend, right? And then I don't know. I'm trying to think of like something that was really The Saddest Landscape was a huge band for me. Envy from Japan, just the goats, you know. Funeral Diner, of course. Like Funeral Diner actually like was big in us. They really kind of put a battery in our back because they kind of saw like what we were doing and just talking with them and stuff like that. Like when we played like pretty much every show. We had a handful of shows, and like they were mostly like two of them, two out of like 5 or 6 were like with Funeral Diner, and like they just really like were stoked on us and stuff like that. And they told members of Funeral Diner told me later on that like we reminded them of like the European bands, like a Sui La Lune or like a La Quiete or something like that, and about what we were doing and stuff like that. So yeah, so that just meant a lot to hear from those guys say that. And then just like new stuff like Nueva Oscura, like is probably like my I was in a hardcore band and we played a show with that band in Oakland, and that band like just like blew me away. As far as new bands, that's like my top like favorite band right now. I don't know, I haven't really like tapped into like what's happening like new, like currently right now, but yeah, every time I come across something, I'll try to give it a listen. You know what I mean? I always give it, you know.
Yeah. So I have
Rocks for sure, but Ostraka from West Virginia is probably my top right now.
yeah.
Just wanted to say Ostraka's name.
So I have about 2 more minutes left in the Zoom. So I guess we should wrap it up with like a question, but in like a short answer, I guess. Like generally what happened within your guys' lives since like the end of I Wrote Haikus to now? Like what have you guys been up to in like the most general sense? Because it's been like 15 years almost, I want to say.
Still being involved in music with really solid friends and trying to keep the relationship with just playing all types of funk alive with the people that I love. So yeah, as far as music goes, like that's one of the main things. Just trying to stay in the legit circle of friends that we can produce stuff, even if it takes 5 years at a time.
And then what about you, you guys? We got a minute left. Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, just really at the moment I was playing in a few bands and trying to get into another band. Last band I was in was called Don't Front. It was a hardcore band. It was kind of short-lived, but had fun. Played a couple shows. That ended. I have a family now, and I'm working. I build elevators. That's what I do. I'm in the elevator union in San Francisco, and then just doing the adult thing. Kind of sucks, but I miss music. You know, I'm trying to get back into it. So, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot happened. Mild Ride. I was in a band called Bonavir for a bit. I was in a band called L, who's like inactive a little bit. Had a kid too. Work in the grocery industry. Live in Berkeley. Yeah, it's been like a wild ride since. It was Wild Ride with Haiku, super fun, and it's still been wild. So yeah, just living dad life, jamming with friends. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate so much you guys for coming over here. Like I can't believe this actually happened. So thank you guys.
Thank you.